dude.
Hello, friends. It's me, host Eric, host Talking with Famous People, and I'm making a video today that is about your polar function and your tool function. Your polar function and your tool function. Okay? I have a nice little table to look at. First, at the top, you see a quick check table. This is because of the numbers problem. I always use MBTI numbers. Some people get confused about that because then I'll use Socionics names and stuff. Socionics numbering system is absolutely fucking moronic. There's no reason anybody should embrace this block notion, nor the numbering system of Socionics. It's based on nothing. It's totally arbitrary. It's bullshit. But for your reference, here it is. MBTI 1, dominant or main, hero function. MBTI 2 is your creative tool or good parent function. MBTI 3, tertiary, mobilizing, child function. MBTI 4, auxiliary, suggestive, dual seeking, or animus function. So, in other words, for me, NE is my dominant function, or my main function, or my hero function. TI is my creative function, my tool function, my good parent function. And according to Socionics, those two comprise my ego block. My MBTI third function, or what I consider my tertiary function, or FE, is mobilizing in Socionics, or called a child function. MBTI, which is a good name for it. It is very much yourself as a child in that function. MBTI fourth is called the auxiliary function or suggestive function. This is the vulnerable function. Sorry, that's wrong. Why did I do that? Vulnerable function. This is suggestive is where? This is not vulnerable. This is suggestive. Okay, so for me, this goes NE, TI, FE, SI, and you can call them your hero, your good parent, your child, and your animal self. Or you could call it your base function, your tool function, your mobilizing function, your vulnerable functions, like Socionics does. Or your dominant, your creative, your tertiary, your auxiliary, like MBTI does. All right, these two, third and fourth in MBTI, are your super-id block in Socionics. Arbitrarily, for some stupid reason, they were number 6 and 5 respectively. All right, MBTI 5th and 6th, these are your shadow functions in MBTI. They're the flip sides of your 1, 2. Called your suggestive function, ignoring function, opposing function, observing function, limiting function. MBTI 6 is your demonstrative function, witch function, bad parent function. For me, this is NI and TE respectively. And they're called the id block in Socionics, and they are 7 and 8 Socionics respectively. Don't fucking use Socionics numbering, please. I should never even put it here because it's so stupid. MBTI 7th, polar, deceiving, trickster. MBTI 8th, role function, loose cannon, demon function. These names with the colorful names are BBs. This guy BB. He was a Jungian. He was a post-Jung Jungian. Obviously, you have to be post-Jung to be a Jungian. Okay. Let me look at the camera for a second. So that's where we are right now. That quick reference, guys. That's all precursor to the actual point of this video, which is the bottom table. I do think it's important to note the following. If we could just all agree on the following standard, let's use Socionics, whatever, except for their numbering and their blocks. It's fine. Use whatever. Definitely don't use their numbering. It's so lame. Okay, let's go to the table. Slot relations, place of least resistance, and creative functions. So, or tool function. If your second function is this, then your polar is this. Okay? If your second function is this, yeah. Then your polar is this one. Okay. So note that there's a link here between your second and your polar, not your dominant and your polar. And the reason I'm drawing this point is that it's because if your dominant nature is, for example, NE, then your polar is not going to be SE, because NE is an action function and SE is also an action function. If your dominant nature is metaphysical action, you understand physical action as well. It's the dark side of your nature. But you don't understand it very well. But you're not polar to it. But if you have it as your action function, it's like your nature is, let's say, TI, your action function is NE, ideation is the thing you do when faced with something. In that case, ideation, which is contrary to completion or physical action, is necessarily going to blind you to completion, because unlike having it as your nature, which means it's there in all circumstances, is your tool function, which is there to be called upon as you need it and be willfully applied. If that's how you always willfully apply something, and your nature is naturally going to be an introverted judging function, if your second function is going to be an action function, well, then obviously you're going to have a problem with completion. So let's go down this table here. It says if your second function is NE, your polar is SE, and the summation of it, if your creative function is let's talk more about this, you don't get how and why people take actual action. SE in the second function. It's also an action function, but it's a physical action function. And its locus is completion, whereas NE's was ideation. So the seventh function then for an SE DOM is going to be NE ideation. I'm sorry, not for an SE DOM, for an SE tool user is going to be NE ideation. Why? Because if your creative function is a non-talking action, then you don't get how and why people come up with ideas. NI, epistemology, metaphysical, its locus is discovered knowledge. That's to say, knowledge that's implicit to things outside of you, or seems to be to you. That means your polar is going to be SI. If you've got a tool function of NI, your polar is SI. Why? Because if your creative function knows the disinterested truth, then you don't get knowledge. You don't get knowledge from a personal perspective. SI. If your tool function is SI, your locus of the tool function is attained knowledge, and the polar locus, in other words, what your polar is about is discovered knowledge. So if your creative function checks what you've done with what you've learned before, then you don't get truth as external and eternal. All right, now let's look at the TE creative function users, TE tool users. It's subjectivism, object systems, that's what TE is. So we did the epistemologies. There's the metaphysical epistemology NI, the physical epistemology SI. We did the actions. There's the metaphysical action NE, the physical action SE. Now we're doing the external systems. External systems functions. Okay, DE and FE are both external systems functions. So subjectivism, object systems, that's external. Agent systems, external for FE. TE, subjectivism, object systems, external, mechanical systems. The seventh function is going to be FE. You don't get social systems. If you get mechanical systems, you don't get social systems. If your creative functions attends to mechanics, then you don't get motivationals. FE, objectivism is an agent system, external, social system. TE is your polar. Mechanical systems. Your creative function attends to the motivationals of things, then you don't get the mechanics of them. TI is the internal systems, the objective internal systems function, and whereas Whereas TE deals with mechanical systems, FE deals with social systems, TI deals with logical systems or conditionality systems. And if you have TI as your tool function, you have FI polar, and you just don't get personal systems. Because if your creative function weighs through disinterested logic, then you don't get what matters to you personally. And lastly, if your second function is introverted feeling, then you have a subjective agent system approach that's internal, and that the locus of which is personal systems. That is a system specific to you, regarding feeling mostly, but not so much SI, obviously. But for the polar focus locus, then is the polar function locus, then is going to be logical systems or conditionality. If your creative function checks your feelings to see, checks with your feelings, I should say, then you just don't get disinterested logic. Alright, so I did a poor job of presenting this table in this video. I know I repeated myself a lot. I stammered and I did that thing that sometimes overwhelms me. It wasn't a very good video, but I'm not going to re-record it. Maybe I should, though. It takes too long, and it took a long time to do that. Maybe I should re-record it, though. I'll probably just put this up, unless Kimberly tells me nothing. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Oh yeah, right. I have to put these up too. I got these stickers for Chocolate Vegetable Store, and they're $5 will get you one. In other words, you pay $5. That includes the shipping and everything, as long as you're domestic. Okay, if you're international, you got to add $25 to it because it costs shitloads. Well, it depends where you are internationally. Like, it costs it costs $25 to mail a T-shirt to Susie. But these aren't T-shirts, and this will only cost you $5, and you'll get one, and you can put it on your car, like I have it on my car. You can put it on your guitar case. You can put it on 5 different colors. This one is blue. You'll note it's a double peel action. It's got double peel action. What does that mean? You peel it off like this, right? And then you push it on the thing, and then you peel the other thing off, and it leaves it there. Real vinyl letters. They're made out of the endangered vinyl wolf of North Africa. So they're extra valuable. Only $5. Kimberly would be very excited if people started buying stickers. I would be too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. And if you do, it's okay. I forgive you.